We continue to tell you about interesting cases in the hip-hop industry, when artists who once had it all suddenly find themselves left behind by their former fame. Today's story will be special because it's not about losing success, it's about the breakup of a group caused by internal conflicts and tragic events. Of course, you've already guessed we're going to talk about Migos, the trio that turned the hip-hop game upside down and influenced future rap stars. Migos is a group that blew up the hip-hop scene with their debut release. Their music quickly gained popularity, and more than 10 years after their first release, they were still delivering hits to their audience.
Mama told me, not to sell word. Mama 17, 5.
However, despite all their accomplishments, the group faced internal conflicts, which eventually became one of the reasons for their breakup. It was a tough time for the members of Migos, and their decision to stop working together was driven not only by creative differences, but also by tragic events. Let's dive into how it happened that Migos no longer exists as a trio. Make yourself comfortable. Here we go. Today we'll tell you the story of Migos' success and what led to their breakup. Let's dive into the world of hip-hop and learn more about the group that flipped the game. Migos was made up of Quavo, whose real name is Quavius Kiate Marshall, TAKEOFF, whose real name is Kursnik Karibol, and Offset, whose birth name is Kiari Kendrell Cephas. Interestingly, Quavo is TAKEOFF's uncle, and Offset and Quavo are cousins. Migos was a very family-oriented project. Quavo lost his father early, and both Offset and TAKEOFF were born to single mothers. When the kids were around 4 years old, they all ended up in the same household, raised by Quavo's mom, who worked as a hairdresser. Their childhood took place in the small town of Gwinnett County, Georgia. From there, you could reach Atlanta, the mecca of Southern rap, in about an hour. Quavo was a promising young football player who, in 2009 during his senior year, led the county. John Thompson, Quavo's coach, remembers him as a natural-born leader. The guys respected him and played hard for him, says Thompson. I think they really liked him too. Off the field, Quavo was known for his kind-hearted nature. He was a joker, says the coach. I was a pretty serious guy, and he always tried to lift everyone's spirits. He was fun to be around. But in the end, he dropped out before graduation. I couldn't follow anybody's rules, says Quavo. I knew I was going to be somebody. By that time, Mexican cartels had turned sleepy Gwinnett County into a major hub for substance distribution. I'm not going to sit here and say, my neighborhood was rough and I had to get out and work, he says. We made it hard for ourselves. We chose to stay in the streets. The guys started rapping just for fun. We did everything together, says Quavo. We had no one but each other. He remembers when he was 16, nailing a microphone to his mom's living room wall so they could record their first track, Boost It Up, using the free Windows Movie Maker program. There wasn't even Pro Tools or anything like that. That song got me my first girlfriend.
My boy Take was rapping first, man. He the youngest. We was all out going crazy, running around. My boy Take, my boy Take.
We all rapping first. They just play other
Take
sports.
might not listen, man.
They just play sport. I never played a sport. I can play sport. I just totally
he wanted to go to the parties because he wanted to record. He wanted to record, man. He stopped doing that, bro. You know what's going on.
We together.
He the best one out of all of us, you know what I'm saying? He the youngest. He been like that. To me, he the best one. To me, he the best one out the group, man.
Go to the north side. Soon we see our on the north side. That's the first thing. Ain't saying.
I'd come home from school and start recording rap. Through the wall, Quavo's mom was always on the phone, so her voice ended up in all my verses from that time, TAKEOFF recalled in an interview with Billboard magazine. On August 25th, 2011, the group released their first full-length project, a mixtape called Jug Season. The release was definitely very raw and unpolished, and no one could have predicted that soon these three guys would blow up the hip-hop scene. The next year, they dropped No Label, which featured the track Bando. The video for Bando became a viral hit on YouTube and helped Migos build an online fan base. Around the same time, the group signed with the newly founded label Quality Control Records, started by Gucci Mane's former manager Kevin Coach K and his business partner Pierre Thomas. The group became prolific in terms of free releases. 14 more mixtapes followed, the most notable being their breakthrough Young Rich Nigga, released in 2013. The release received positive reviews from critics and was ranked the third best mixtape of 2013 by Rolling Stone. Rappers Gucci Mane and Soul Dija Boy took part in the recording of the album. The mixtape is especially notable for the single Versace, which reached number 99 on the Billboard Hot 100. XXL named it one of the top 5 hip-hop songs of 2013. The official music video was released on September 30th, 2013. The video gained over 36 million views on YouTube.
Versace, Versace. Versace, 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 Versace.
The release gained over 7 million views and 500,000 downloads. Offset appears only on some tracks from the mixtape. He was in jail in 2013 when Young Rich Nigga dropped.
Versace moment. We was all downstairs in the basement. We dropped the beat. I was just Versace. And Set said Versace. And Take said Versace. I said Versace again. Then I went back in and I recorded it. And I came out. I think I'm saying Versace too much. They were like, no, hell no. Keep it just like that. We gonna do it just like that. That thing you know, we was in birthday bash. That boy Drake pulled up. Said, bro, I love everything y'all doing from Pronto, Versace, Bando. He was like, send me either one of them. So I sent him two. I sent him Pronto and Versace. He sent back Versace. He was gone.
Later, Drake made a remix of Versace. This collaboration with Drake helped Migos become popular and position themselves as one of the groups defining the new trap sound in Atlanta. Versace is still considered a modern trap classic and remains one of Migos' most beloved songs among their loyal fans.
Verse for a verse, but man, that's not a swap to me. Grinding in compliments, pool in the backyard that look like.
In addition, the trio was compared to other prominent figures of the new sound, like Future and Gucci Mane. Realizing they'd likely found their wave and had great potential ahead, Migos decided not to slow down. The result of their hard work was another mixtape titled No Label 2, with support from Meek Mill, Young Thug, and Jermaine Dupri. This project got the guys a deal with the label 3 Huna Entertainment, where the trio began working on their debut album. Picking up serious momentum, in 2015, the group released their first full-length album titled Young Rich Nation. Newcomers got help taking over the charts from Chris Brown and Young Thug.
Now pipe it up, pipe it up, pipe it up, pipe it up, pipe it up.
Young Rich Nation debuted at number 17 on the Billboard 200 chart with 18,000 album equivalent units, 14,000 of which were pure album sales. It was the 11th highest selling album in the US that debut week. After getting solid feedback on their work, Migos confidently began talking about their second album. However, their label was no longer a good fit for the young group. As a result, later that same year, 2015, the trio became independent. Immediately after going independent, they dropped the mixtape Back to the Bando, which featured one of the collective's biggest hits, the progressive youth anthem, Look at My Dab. We're talking about that dab, the arm movement that became wildly popular among young people.
Y'all got everybody dabbing. You see the people on there making captions on Instagram. They're doing on cue already. Might sneeze, you know what I'm saying? When people are doing videos, it's going viral, so that's what they like.
Thus, Migos became the inventors of one of the most persistent memes of modern times. Just thanks to this simple trick, they gained millions of followers around the world.
Now, is this true that you guys were the original creators of the dab?
Yes, sir.
So how did it come about?
Dabbing is really swagging. You know what I'm saying? Dabbing is like, look at my dab was like, look at my swag.
Yeah.
Dab was a new word for swag, and then people took that one word and made it a whole dance and kind of made the word dab be a dance.
I feel slightly responsible, as I think many other dads in their late 30s, early 40s do, where I feel like I might have ruined it.
However, not everything went as smoothly as for any hip-hop artists. Migos had problems with the law. On April 18, 2015, the group Migos was supposed to headline the spring concert at South Georgia University. The concert was scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. with local artists. However, Migos took the stage nearly 1 hour and 30 minutes later than the planned time, at 9 p.m. Although the performance contract specified a minimum performance length of 45 minutes, the group performed for less than 30 minutes before leaving the stage. The university's police department, who were present as concert security, smelled marijuana strongly in the group's vans, and the drivers were questioned by law enforcement. During the further investigation, the rap trio and 12 members of their entourage were arrested for marijuana and other controlled substances, possession, firearm possession in a school safety zone, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and possession of a firearm by convicted felons. Although the university's leadership knew about Migos' reputation, the group was allowed to perform because in a student survey, they received the most votes among 7 groups and artists who were vying to take part in the spring concert, and student fees and ticket sales were used to pay for the concert. According to the performance contract, the group was to be paid $30,000, and their promoter, Big House Collective, received an additional $3,000. Initially, university representatives tried to accuse Migos of breaching the contract due to their late arrival, shortened performance, and possession of prohibited items on university grounds. However, in the end, the university paid half of the agreed-upon sum. On April 20th, 2015, TAKEOFF, Quavo, and 6 members of their crew were released on bail by the District Attorney's Office, while Offset and another 6 remained in custody without bail. As a result of their arrests, on April 28, 2015, Migos postponed their Young Rich Nation tour until July. On May 2, 2015, Offset, while in custody, was charged with assault and incitement to riot in a correctional facility after attacking another inmate who suffered serious injuries.
So, we had reported a story at one point that you were being charged with starting a riot, something like that?
Yeah, rioting, yeah. Gave me a riot.
I mean, from your point of view, what really happened?
None. Little to none. I just got in a little altercation. And I guess that other case was so weak, they wanted to put something on me. And so they charged me with a riot in the penal facility.
So it was really just a regular fight?
It's a little physical altercation. Couldn't see nothing, nobody hurt like that, nothing. Just a physical altercation. I just charged me with it, and that charge hold up to 20 years for that little 11-second situation.
On May 8, 2015, at the bail hearing before the Superior Court judge, Offset was officially denied bail due to his prior criminal history as well as the jail fight. The rapper's lawyer argued that the rap trio was unfairly targeted by law enforcement and that the officers failed to prove that the firearms and prohibited substances found in the 2 vans belonged to them. However, the prosecution responded that law enforcement was present at the concert to ensure student and public safety because of Migos' propensity for violence. Upon hearing the decision, Offset shouted obscenities as he was led out of the courtroom. After 8 months in custody, Offset was released on December 4, 2015. The entire following year, 2016, was under the flag of Migos. It got to the point where Kanye himself began saying he wouldn't mind signing the hot trio to his label Good Music. However, beyond talk, the idea didn't progress further. The group rushed full speed toward the release of their long-awaited second album, and in January 2017, Migos released their explosive record Culture. The album took the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, selling in the first week over 130,000 copies. A year later, that number exceeded 1 million, meaning the trio now had at least 1 platinum record. A striking indicator of success and popularity in 2017, you have to admit. Guest artists on the album included artists everyone knows, such as DJ Khaled, 2 Chainz, and Gucci Mane. But the album's main hit, Bad and Bougé, was released with then little-known Lil Uzi Vert.
Raindrops, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot box.
The song brought the collective huge fame, significantly expanding their audience and gathering over 1 billion views on YouTube. The single is one of the group's flagship songs. However, not everything was smooth. The meteoric rise in popularity and recognition of Migos as leaders of modern hip-hop inevitably sparked envy among artists of the old guard, whose fame remained somewhere back in the zeros. For example, the nerves of Harlem native Joe Budden, the author of the early new millennium hit Pump It Up, just snapped.
I see that girlie, I've been plotting to get.
The most interesting happened on the show Everyday Struggle, inviting Migos as guests and starting to ask them, in particular about Bad and Bougé. The conversation went off the rails. While TAKEOFF tried to incoherently explain why his verse was missing from the track, Joe Budden lost his temper and left the shot right in the middle of the interview. The guys were outraged by this behavior and almost started a fight.
For so long, I'm glad they succeeded, man.
Hey man, you guys are nominated tonight. Have a good show.
What are you trying to do? Wait. No. Wait.
Where's their security guard? Where's their security guard?
Naturally, the video of the conflict went viral, and of course, the up-and-coming hitmakers did not miss the chance to hype it as much as possible. After the clash, Quavo started using Budden as an analog for the word envier, or hater. The idea was picked up by another representative of the new wave, Lil Yachty, who also clashed with Joe on Everyday Struggle.
You're gonna have a big problem with just asking.
Yeah,
you don't sound like you very aware with what's going on, and you one of the hottest niggas on earth.
But what do you want me to say? You want me to say?
I want you to be aware of your business. I want you to know whether you're in a 360 or not. I want you to appreciate the culture that changed your life and took you from college dorm rooms eating fucking oodles and noodles. I want you who's well-spoken and articulates himself well.
My nigga. Chill.
Yeah, hold up. Yo,
I'm just wait.
That never went to Night Ride.
And this is I was him.
The result of this friendship against Budden was the joint track Ice Tray. The guys decided to go the extra mile and held a whole casting to find people who looked like Joe and his co-hosts, DJ Academics and Nadeska Alexis.
If a nigga hatin', call him Joe Budden. Cool.
In the end, they created a very fun and ironic clip about how the older generation blows a fuse and gets burned up by the successes of the new school. Budden himself, after watching the video, even sarcastically praised the guys for the work done. By the way, here's how the explanation sounded about why TAKEOFF didn't record a part on such a hit.
Can I ask you respectfully, because it became a whole moment of Bad and Bougie, like, was it something about Bad and Bougie why you didn't want to rap on that beat? Like, why wasn't you on that song when it came out, ultimately?
Yeah, I just think it was that time. We was just trying to get something out. We was actually pissed off because we didn't have no music out. I think like a couple months before that whole little wave, and we was going through the litigation with 300. So we ended up leaking. We ended up leaking Bad and Bougie on SoundCloud. First.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then shit, I wasn't even finna be on it. It was gonna be. Because
Offset kind of brought that idea.
I had to do my verse like on some quick, fast, in a rush shit. So it was just like everybody running to the song and trying to...
In 2017, there was also a conflict between Migos and Tentacion. Jesse Onfroy stated that Migos attacked him in Los Angeles. According to the rapper, the group attacked him together, even pulling out a gun. After that, he shared a video showing his bruises and insulted Quavo, TAKEOFF, and especially Offset. "They jumped me. Nobody showed any respect in a one-on-one fight," he says in the video. "I just want you to know that I am a man first and foremost, and I will take this damn beating like a man. This shit don't affect me, and you will lose money for messing with me."
To fight me one-on-one. These niggas was scared to fight me. Y'all niggas like 35. I ain't mad, cause I got 35-year-old niggas scared to fight me and shit. Y'all niggas pussy as fuck. Fuck Quavo. Fuck Offset. Fuck that pussy nigga, what's it called? Lift Off? Fuck Lift Off. Fuck all y'all pussy ass niggas. Fuck all y'all.
Despite the outrage of some senior colleagues and conflicts with other rappers, Migos continued to remain the most in-demand group of the new era. Later in 2018, the group released their third full-scale work, Culture 2, becoming the most popular group in the world. The album contains 24 tracks and was produced by Metro Boomin, Dun Deal, Murder Beats, Travis Scott, Zaytoven, and others.
100K I spend on my senora, my picky on margarine butter, and my ink got McDonald's.
Culture 2 debuted at #1 on the US Billboard 200 chart. It was the second Migos album to hit #1 in the United States. On December 14th, 2018, Culture 2 received a double platinum certification from the Recording Industry Association of America for combined sales, streaming, and track sales equivalent to 2 million units.
Whoa, hold on. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it.
In 2018, Culture 2 ranked 10th on the list of the most popular albums of the year, according to the Billboard 200. By the end of 2018, over 1,599,000 copies of the album had been sold in the US, of which over 115,000 were pure sales. In October 2018, Quavo stated that Culture 3 would be released in early 2019. The album's release was then postponed and moved to early 2020. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the album release was once again delayed. In March 2020, Quavo gave an interview to Billboard and announced the group's decision to postpone the release of Culture 3, explaining that they could not properly promote the album after social distancing rules came into effect in most states. On May 22nd, 2020, on Lil Wayne's Young Money radio show on Apple Music, Migos announced that they would change the title from Culture 3 to something else. However, on May 17th, 2021, that decision was reversed when the group announced on Instagram that Culture 3 would be released on June 11th of the same year under its original name. Culture 3 was released on June 11th, 2021 and debuted at #2 on the Billboard 200. At that time, the trio seemed very united. They often gave joint interviews and actively promoted their fourth studio album. In an interview with NME, Offset explained Migos' success as old-fashioned blood, sweat, and tears. On May 18th, Migos became a trending topic on Twitter after an observant fan noticed that Offset and his wife Cardi B had unfollowed Quavo and TAKEOFF on social media. This move was made on the same day Quavo and TAKEOFF announced a new joint single titled Hotel Lobby under the aliases Unk and Few, which is a reference to their family ties.
Me in the fridge, get cozy, they some cannibals. They like to get geek, drink a whole.
The group only fueled the rumors by announcing that they were canceling their performance at the Governor's Ball in New York and would be replaced by Lil Wayne. Fans immediately speculated that the cancellation was linked to the group's breakup. As with any group, internal conflicts began to emerge within Migos. In 2022, there were rumors that the group had broken up after Quavo's ex-girlfriend allegedly slept with Offset. In August 2022, TMZ reported that Offset had filed a lawsuit against the group's label, Quality Control, claiming that he signed a solo deal and generously paid for the rights to his music. Music. Then, on September 6, 2022, Offset performed 2 of his solo tracks on The Tonight Show. His performance was followed by an announcement from Quavo and TAKEOFF about their own solo album. The new album, without Offset's participation, became a major revelation. Only Built for Infinity links appeared on streaming services on October 7th. In the track Messy, Quavo hinted at the group's split. Here's the quote. "I said, she too messy, fucked my dog behind my back, but I ain't stressin'. You wanted the gang? You should have just said it. We would have just blessed it. Now shit got messy."
It's on the table, I'm like, who fired this here? Who? This bitch got past secured, I'm like, who let her?
Later in an interview, he hinted at Offset's lack of loyalty.
We just stand on loyalty, you know what I mean? We stand on real deal loyalty. And, you know, sometimes that shit ain't displayed. And this ain't got nothing to do with no label, no paperwork, no QC, no nothing. This got something to do with the 3 brothers. And shit, that is what it is. Right now, we gonna be the duo till time tell.
Quavo and TAKEOFF continued to build their careers as a duo, while Offset focused on his solo career. But what happened next completely crushed fans' hopes of ever seeing the trio together again. On November 1st, 2022, TAKEOFF suddenly passed away in Houston after attending a private party with around 40 to 50 guests. He was only 28 years old. His career ended tragically. In a 2015 interview with Rolling Stone, he said he was thrilled with his path. "It's a blessing," he said, "but this is just the beginning. Y'all haven't seen nothing yet." The police chief who first confirmed the rapper's death said the following. "Officers received a call about a shooting in progress. Shortly afterward, officers arrived at the scene. Downtown at a billiards and bowling alley, they found a man who was deceased. That man turned out to be a member of the rap group Migos from Atlanta. I received many calls from Houston and from other cities. Everyone spoke about what a wonderful young man he was, how peaceful he was, what a great artist he was. In the emergency call recording, 5 shots can be heard. What does she need to do?" said Quavo in one of the 911 video calls. A woman at the scene said she was a nurse and offered help to TAKEOFF. In the video, Quavo can be seen trying to move his wounded nephew before laying him on the ground and calling for help.
Hello? Fuck over there. Hello? He's calling the ambulance.
This was a major blow to the entire hip-hop industry, including Migos themselves.
I understand that he means a lot to y'all lyrically and musically, but this is my nephew, you know what I'm saying? This is like, I raised this man, so can't nobody tell me how to, you know what I'm saying, love, what to talk about, what to say, what to do, how to do it, about like anything I'm with, he with it, all the way out.
During the 2023 Grammy Awards ceremony, Quavo gave an emotional performance in honor of his late nephew. The rapper even appeared to be holding TAKEOFF's necklace on stage. Although Offset was present at the ceremony, he did not take part in the tribute.
I cry. Can't tell you how many times I cry.
On February 22nd, Quavo posted a video of his second tribute to TAKEOFF. It was a music video for the track Greatness. In the video, Quavo is surrounded by luxury cars and jewelry, lamenting that he would give up all his wealth and fame just to see his brother one more time.
Young nigga, it can't come back. Damn, I'ma make sure mama straight, mama, especially mama.
While Quavo nostalgically remembers the good times he shared with TAKEOFF, he also hints at the ongoing tension between him and Offset. "So don't ask about the group. He's gone, we gone, young nigga. It can't come back," raps Quavo in the track. But near the end of the 3-minute melody, Quavo returns to honor the trio and says at the end, "That's how legends are made. Greatness. I couldn't do it without the greatest group in the world." To summarize, while Migos no longer exist today, it cannot be said that the trio lost everything. They lost their unity and one of their members, but they never lost their loyal and devoted fans. Despite the ups and downs they faced throughout their career, Migos established themselves as one of the most iconic groups in modern rap history. They helped shape the sound of the Atlanta trap wave in the late 2010s and stood out from their contemporaries by being fun and never taking themselves too seriously. Even though the trio will never release a new album again, Migos will still hold their place in rap history and already have a solid catalog of hits that have stood the test of time. And what do you think about the success story of Migos and their breakup? Write your opinion in the comments. Bye everyone.